Hey everybody, welcome back. Today let's look at using information that we can gather and creating picture graphs and bar graphs with that information. And then also we could answer some questions about our graphs. Okay, so let's get started. This is something you could do at your house. You could survey the people who live in your house, and if those people don't live in your house, you might call them on the phone and ask them their favorite ice cream flavor. So let's pretend that I surveyed my family, and let's say that the 4 flavors I'm going to use for my survey are chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate chip ice cream. So if you surveyed maybe your dad and brother, sister, mom, uncle, grandma, aunt, all of those people could answer that question for you. So let's say on my graph that my dad and my brother both picked chocolate ice cream as their favorite flavor. I would put 2 tally marks for chocolate. And my sister really likes vanilla, so I did a tally mark there, 1 for vanilla. And then my mom, uncle, and grandma really like strawberry, so I did 3 tally marks for them. And then my aunt likes chocolate chip, so I did 1 tally for her. Okay, after I've surveyed some members of my family and found out their favorite ice cream flavor, I can use that information to create a graph. And first, I'm going to do a picture graph. So I'm going to label my graph. Labeling graphs is very important. So of course, this is about favorite ice cream flavor. So that's what I called it. And then remember those 4 flavors were chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate chip. Now it's important that you notice this key at the bottom here of this graph. Every time you see one of these stars, that equals 1 person who voted. Okay, so 2 people, remember, voted for chocolate, dad and brother. 1 person voted for vanilla, that was sister. 3 people voted for strawberry, mom, uncle, and grandma. And 1 person voted for chocolate chip, that was my aunt. So I created that picture graph to show that information. And then I can use that information to also create a bar graph. So let me slide my paper up so you can see my bar graph that I created. So there's my favorite ice cream flavor. I titled it. It's really important to do that. And we said this was a bar graph. Okay, so along the bottom, because you want to label both sides of your bar graph. So along the bottom, I labeled chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate chip. And then here on this side of my graph, I have counted up with numbers. I counted up from 1 to 7 because I knew I only surveyed 7 people, so I didn't make the numbers go higher. Okay, now remember back to the tally chart and the picture graph. How many of my family members voted for chocolate? 2, right? Dad and brother. Okay, so I did a bar graph up to the number 2. See how it goes here to the number 2? And then I shaded it. Okay, let's look at vanilla. How many people voted for vanilla? Just 1. So I did 1 bar for that person. That was sister. And then mom, uncle, and grandma all voted for strawberry. So how many people's that? 3. So I did my bar graph up to the number 3 and shaded it in. And then 1 person voted for chocolate chip, my aunt. So I shaded in that 1. Okay, so once we've done a tally chart and a picture graph and a bar graph, now we're ready to answer some questions about our graph. But we need to leave our graph close to us so we can look for our answers. Okay, so I'm going to look at some questions that we might could answer together. Our first question says, how many people voted on their favorite ice cream flavor? So I could go back to my tally chart, my picture graph, or my bar graph to find that answer. I think I'm going to look at my picture graph. Remember, each star represented 1 person. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people voted for their favorite flavor. Okay. Our next question says, how many people voted for chocolate and strawberry? Okay, so let's look at our bar graph for this. How many people voted for chocolate? Chocolate was 2, and strawberry was 3. So 2. Am I going to add or subtract? How many people voted? I'm combining that information, aren't I? So it would be 2 plus 3. And 2 plus 3 equals 5. So 5 people voted for either chocolate or strawberry. Okay, our next question says, how many more people voted for strawberry than vanilla? What kind of problem does this sound like? Who said comparing? We're comparing, aren't we? We're comparing strawberry to vanilla. When we compare, we subtract. Okay, so strawberry was 3. Let's look at my bar graph. Slide it up where you can see it. 3. And then how many people voted for vanilla? Just 1. So we would be comparing 3 minus 1. And 3 minus 1 would be 2 people. And then finally, which flavors were the least popular? And I really like looking at my bar graph for this one because I can easily just glance at that and find the answer. Which bars are the shortest? Vanilla and chocolate chip both had the least votes because vanilla only had 1 vote and chocolate chip only had 1 vote. So vanilla and chocolate chip would be the least popular flavors with my family because they got the least amount of votes. So I'm going to say vanilla and chocolate chip. So graphs are pretty fun. You could survey some people in your family and ask them, you could ask them anything, like it could be their favorite ice cream flavors like I did, or you could do a different topic like their favorite movie or their favorite food or their favorite color or their favorite season. And you are going to usually have 4 categories. So maybe give them 4 choices to choose from. And you can tally their answers. And if those family members aren't in your house, you could call them on the phone and ask them. And then you could create that picture graph with your information, the bar graph with your information, and then you could even answer some questions about your graph. Keep up the good work, 2nd grade. I'm so proud of you.